Hello people, welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to be looking at delusional women, okay, which it's all too common these days and far too common for my liking and many a man's liking. So basically this video is just going to give you a glimpse of how deluded women are in the modern day, and in my opinion the more deluded and high standards that a woman has, the more she's been sleeping around, the more men she's been with. That's my opinion. Because if you meet a chick or a woman who has not been with a lot of guys, she's not got much experience, so she's not really got much demands. She's quite happy to just be with the guy, you know, and fall in love. That's the realistic situation of somebody who has not slept around. But a woman who has slept around, it's like each time she sleeps with a guy, her standards get more and more deluded and higher and higher and higher, until the point where they just think that they deserve the world and then the universe and then whatever else they can get. It's insanity. So let's just watch this video and you'll see what I mean.
One of the best pieces of advice I've ever read about relationships is this. A man calling you baby means nothing. A man moving into your house means nothing. A man calling you his girlfriend means nothing. A man marrying you means nothing. Do you know what means something? A man changing his ways to keep you. That's what means something.
No, that's what means you are worth nothing to a man, because a man does not change for a woman. A real true man does not change for a woman. A man lets a woman join his life, come into his frame. So you, my dear, are deluded. Sorry, you are going to hit the wall very hard.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the kind of advice women give each other that does nothing but guarantee a long stretch of singlehood. From the ones who suggest lying about everything, to the typical woman who feels empowered by raising her standards and still ends up alone. But hey, at least with dignity. If you enjoy this content, leave a like and subscribe. We're on our way to 150,000 subscribers, and with your support, we're going to crush that goal. Drop your experience or opinion on these cases in the comments. And without further ado, let's get started.
I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but I've been single for a really long time, and I always have guys asking me like, oh, how's a girl like you single? Like insinuating like I shouldn't be. And I'll tell you why I'm still single. Because my standards are, at this point, they're through the roof. Like, good luck meeting them. I mean, I require reciprocated energy, good communication, meaningful conversation that's not just how was your day, respect of my time, actually treating me like you value me as a person and that you can actually bring something positive into my life.
So yeah, she's a little diva. She's slept around. The problem with women like this, she's pretty. I would hit it, not going to lie, visually, she's pretty, but that's the thing, she can attract men. So her problem is she can attract probably most men, even the chads, whatever you want to call them in her mind. She can attract all the men, but once they hear her open her mouth and they spend enough time around her, they're like, you're a headache, you're going to be trouble, I see the red flags, goodbye. So what happens is, in her mind, she thinks because she managed to get the chad, that she deserves the world, because she's like, well, I can get any man, so I can set the standards. This is where women go wrong. Yes, you might be able to attract most guys, but the problem is you're pretty on the outside, not on the inside. And once a man spends enough time around you, he realizes this. And that is why you're not worthy of anything. You're not worthy of everything, sorry. You're only worthy of another ugly person inside, because outward beauty only takes you so far. You will never get a guy who's quality, got class, got self-respect. You'll never get a guy keeping a chick like this because she's so demanding and so entitled and so self-absorbed. I can already see it. It's evident. She's pretty, but she's pretty on the outside, but ugly on the inside, and that's the story that's all too common with women.
It's really a lot. Like, it's rough out here. I need to lower my standards.
And there you go. She said, "I need to lower my standards." So she even knows it. But the problem is when women sleep around that much, it's like they escalate. Their ego just escalates, and they can't. It's like they can't defeat their own ego. You know, it's crazy.
These are the wall's favorites, brother. They spin this fairy tale about sky-high standards, but offer nothing in return except their lovely presence and endless demands. She even says it herself, good luck meeting them. And why don't men go out of their way to meet them anymore? Because genuine interest isn't negotiable. You're not going to fight for the love of someone who won't even lift a finger for you. And the worst part? Even if you bust your ass trying to meet all her expectations, she'll still leave you for the guy who doesn't even do half as much, but gives her butterflies. That's when you realize it's not about effort, it's about attraction. That's why, by their 30s, a lot of them end up alone, crashing hard into the wall. Because the wall doesn't forgive, especially when you think being difficult is some kind of virtue.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you're going in a relationship with a man or talking or whatever, lie about everything. Lie. 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 Make yourself seem fucking perfect, bitch, because that's exactly what they do. All those 4 tattoos of your ex's names on you, no. They're dead relatives.
Did you hear what she's... Listen to this.
Okay? Don't...
They're dead. So she's saying all of those tattoos of your exes. I mean, so what's happened is she gets with guys. Guys realise that she's a 304. She's for the streets, and maybe she's been confronted about it, and a guy's been like, "Look, you're a hoe. Like, I do not want to be with you. Like, look at your past. Sorry, it was good initially, but now I know your past. That is not for me. You're not pure, and you're not even close. And also, you're masculine. You're aggressive. You're combative. I can tell just by seeing her in the time I've seen her that she would be a nightmare to deal with. A nightmare.
Tell him shit. Don't tell him who you used to be in love with. Don't tell him all your deep, dark secrets. Don't tell him how your ex hurt you, because he'll use that on you, bitch. Don't tell him anything. Be the perfect fucking bitch.
Does that look like the perfect B to you? She is a nightmare. Avoid.
Because you are the perfect bitch. They don't need to know your past. They don't need to know fucking anything. Okay?
Do you see the delusion? It is just oozing out of her. She is in full delusion mode.
Nothing. None of that fucking matters.
And this is the problem with modern women. They go into delusion mode rather than reality and accountability. So you've got a path of accountability and delusion, and 9 times out of 10 women will always choose delusion. It's their go-to. Accountability is the final boss of, emotions for women. They cannot deal with it. I think it's because it's not an emotion. In essence, it's reality. And women like to live in emotions where you can go by how you feel, not by how things are. So this is why you'll find women will avoid accountability, because that takes you into the realm of logic. And women will avoid that at all costs, because delusion means you can be whatever you want to be. You can sleep around and still be the perfect woman. No.
Just fucking lie. They're lying to you, bitch. And then you a couple months later find some shit out and you're like, what the fuck? Why are you lying to me about this? I never fucking knew. I never knew you were a fucking weirdo. Okay.
Look at how aggressive she is. Wow. That is just insane. She is horrific.
Okay, yeah, because they lied to you. You gotta do the same thing, bitch. Do the same fucking thing. Don't be open and honest with these men. Don't. No.
Oh, hell no!
This is exactly the kind of woman every man should avoid. Here you've got one giving advice to lie from the very beginning. Hide your past, make up stories, pretend to be perfect through pure fakery. And she justifies it all by saying men do it first. So basically, she calls you a liar while teaching others to be just as bad or worse. And this is the one who wants to be treated like a queen? Yes, men lie sometimes, but why? Because a lot of women like this one don't want the truth. They only want to hear what makes them feel special. They don't care who you are, what your hobbies are, or what your story is. Brothers, always find out the past of the woman you're getting involved with. Because if you don't, you might end up stuck with someone who brings nothing but drama, lies, and chaos into your life.
Controversial, but I think I would rather have my boyfriend cheat on me than end on good terms with him. Hold on. If he cheats on me, not only did I get saved from like a really bad future relationship because he's a cheater, but I'll also be super angry. Like, I'll make his life miserable for a little bit, you know? I'll obviously be sad too, but I'll be more angry than sad, I think. If we end on good terms, where it's just like we just parted ways, like maybe different interests, I don't know, like just on good terms, I will be so sad because I'll be like, I still love him so much. Like, I want to be back with him. Like, imagine.
So I would say this is a classic case of a woman who will create chaos rather than peace. Do you see how women, this is her explaining to you in her way, in a certain specific way, why they would choose chaos or, you know, a non-peaceful life rather than a peaceful life. You know, women always tend to go towards chaos, ups and downs, drama, you know, rather than just letting things be. They will create problems, you know, and she's sitting in her head saying she wishes her boyfriend would cheat on her so she can hate him and be mean to him. Like, what kind of mentality is that? Rather than just saying, okay, we were together, it didn't work out, let's just part ways. She would rather think of some way so she can hate him and cause drama. It's just backward thinking, and it's so far from logical. This is what I'm saying about women. They live in delusion. It's in nothing but emotions. There's no stability, there's no base, there's no constructiveness to it. It's just insanity. Random feelings that just hit each other and go, oh, hi, let's just make this up. Oh, yes, this feels good. I'll just go with this. It's insane.
Everything's going perfect, but you just like, you know, you can't make it work. That's just like not fair. Like, I want to go back to him because there was nothing wrong.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Then they're the ones asking us to connect with our feelings, to be emotionally mature. But listen closely to what this woman says. She'd rather a man cheat on her so she can hate him than end things on good terms. Do you realize the level of emotional immaturity we're dealing with here? The idea that she wants to be cheated on just to make her life miserable is a lie. What she
You could say emotional immaturity, or you could just say completely insane. I mean, either way, it's not good.
really craves is the emotional roller coaster that a Chad gives her, while a guy who leaves in a mature, respectful way doesn't stand.
Yep, so this is the problem. A lot of good men try and bring a nice, peaceful, stable life to these kind of women, and they reject it because deep down they want chaos, turmoil, and like he said, the emotional roller coaster. And that's why they tend to go for guys who don't particularly care about them and guys who are not overly nice to them, because that is what they're attracted to, but then they complain about it. Because they choose the men. They literally have the pick of men, but they choose the ones that are going to hurt them because that deep down is what they crave. That is insanity.
Stand a chance. Chad gives her anxiety, uncertainty, and emotional distress. And like we all know, those are some of the strongest weapons a man can have. That's what fuels her competitive hatred. I can guarantee you, a lot of women get hooked on guys like that for that very reason, because they need the drama.
Things a high-value woman will never do in a relationship. She will never have desperate, needy energy or beg anybody to be with her. She will not try to control or change him either. She values him as his own man, his own entity, as she values herself and her own autonomy. If a man doesn't meet her standards, if he doesn't treat her the way she deserves to be treated, she can cut ties effortlessly with him because she has that stability, that pillar of strength, that secure attachment to herself to allow people to flow out of her life that are not meant for her. If she's in a relationship with a man or she's starting to date a man and he doesn't treat her right, he doesn't respond to her, he ignores her, he doesn't text back, or he ghosts her, she's not going to chase after him.
See, this is the problem with modern women, is that it's like, I feel like you're not being nice to me. I have just decided my feelings are telling me that I am not happy, so I'm just going to leave. Now, the guy could maybe not have texted her regularly enough, or maybe not taking her to the right restaurant, or maybe he's working too much to provide a good life for her, and she's saying, you're not spending enough time with me, so I'm just going to go, because I feel like that entitles me to go and cheat on you because you're working all the time. This is the problem with modern women. They are emotional creatures, and they are in complete hypergamy mode. So emotions and hypergamy is not a stable bet. Not a stable bet at all. And they literally just change like the wind. That is why you do not ever invest too much emotionally or financially in women, because a lot of them are selfish and they're looking for your resources, and they're looking for an emotional roller coaster, and they're looking for the guy that can give them the butterflies. They constantly want their life to be exciting. That's not reality. That's how these women are deluded. It's just insane.
She's not going to try to convince anybody of her value. If she doesn't like his behavior, she won't accept it. She withdraws her energy from it. This is how a woman of high value lives her life. You come into her life, you treat her.
No, that's how a woman who is ran through, damaged and insane acts. A woman of quality knows how to respect a man, be loyal to a man, create a bond with a man, and stick together through thick and thin.
Good, she pours back into you. If you don't treat her good, she cuts you loose from her life. She withdraws her energy from you. She has that standard, and you meet it or you don't, and she's not affected by it either way. Even if she likes you, she's not going to compromise.
That is advice 101 on how to head directly towards the wall if you're a woman. The advice she's given you is going to repel men.
Her dignity, her self-worth, just to allow you to treat her poorly or lower her standards for you. Meet her standards, love her, she'll love you back, she'll pour back into you. You don't.
Now, don't get me wrong, you'll get simps and emotionally weak men who don't get a lot of women who will put up with this, and that will inflate her ego, and that means she thinks she's leveling up and she can go and treat a masculine man who's got self-respect and standards like that, and he will just laugh at her, and at best he'll use her and abuse her. Well, not use her and abuse her, you know what I mean, but he'll just use her, sleep with her, and send her on her way. And then she gets more damage because she's deluded.
Don't. Goodbye. Her self-worth is a top priority. And this makes her really magnetic to men. Men like a challenge. They like a confident woman. They like a chase. They like a woman who won't put up with their crap because it gives them something to work hard for. And since she...
No, men, see, this is the men want a woman that brings peace into their life, not chaos. So that everything she's saying is absolutely insane. You know, it's crazy. It's deluded.
She has such high value for herself, he will have the same high value for her. He sees her the way she sees herself.
The message isn't all wrong. The problem lies in the focus. A man isn't looking for a woman to match his energy or treat him like a personal project. A man is looking for acts of service, femininity, and genuine kindness. If he feels treated like a king, that man will give 100% without even being asked. But no, today's message is, I don't chase, I don't insist, I walk away with my dignity. Perfect. Stay alone with your dignity while he goes with someone who actually knows how to show real interest. The issue with the modern woman is that they all want the top-tier guy, the top 20%, but they're all offering the same thing. Presence, high standards, and the promise that if he delivers, then she'll return the energy.
Yeah, so they've all got this high standards, but they bring nothing but damaged goods. So they've got the more men they sleep with, the more they think they deserve, and that's they tell on themselves once you understand that. Once you meet a woman like this, who's I am this and I am a woman of class and I'm independent and I don't need no man and you should be honoured to be in my life. They are women who have slept around and their standards are just beyond delusional. When you meet a woman who is peaceful, kind, and doesn't have a lot of demands, you know pretty much she's either a peaceful, good person, and it's a good indicator that she's not slept around. But when you meet women like this who are full of demands and craziness and chaos and backward logic and think they know it all, and it's like they think they're going to run the show and men have got to meet their standards and men have got to fit in their life, that shows you that, in my opinion, they've been sleeping around way too much and that their ego is deflated way too big and they think they deserve whatever they want and that they get to run the show because they're spoilt little divas. That is not what true masculine, self-respecting, top-tier men want. That is the opposite. Top-tier masculine men want compliant, feminine, friendly, peaceful women. And loyal women, you know?
In a market where everyone's selling the same product, the one who holds real value is the buyer, the man, because he's the one bringing what sustains a relationship: protection, stability, and purpose. So my king, if a woman wants to be a queen, she's got to earn the king's favor first. Light rain, light rain.
Women.
5 easy ways to tell if your man is a provider.
Oh my god. Oh my god, where do I start? I can already tell she is just a no. She's got lips that look like she's got thrush from hell. They look like they're about to explode. And her eyes, just look at her eyes, they're popping out her head.
Number 1, he's generous naturally. When you go out to dinner with him, he tips very well. That's a key pointer. Every time that you're with him, you always feel comfortable that you don't have to pay for anything.
Yeah, this is a woman who's slept around and she's dated a lot of simps, and that makes her think that she just has the right to dictate everything. You must do this. You must act like that. No. You are a hoe. You've slept around too much. Your ego is way too big. On your way. On your way back to the streets. You are deluded and not worth any of my time. That's my opinion.
He's kind and makes bold moves without you having to ask. Number 2, he's super serious about his career.
Do you notice how these women have this sort of a thing that it's like men have to audition to be in their life? That is when you know a woman is ran through. You know, that is when you know a woman has got way too much experience with men because she's fine-tuned or deluded list of do's and don'ts. Any woman that comes at you with a list and like you've got to qualify just for her presence and her time, do not bother with her. Because the bottom line is, if a woman is attracted to you, she's attracted to you. All of this is nonsense. This is women who have been ran through and think that they can just boss men around and tell men how it is. And that and the problem that you'll find if you get in a relationship with a woman like this, they want to lead. You've always got to please what they want to do. You've always got to bend over backwards for them. Do not.
Career and his career growth. This is extremely important. He's not staying at home all day, watching YouTube videos, on Instagram, liking other girls' pictures. No, he's actually working and focused on his growth.
So let me guess, you want a real man. Well, you've got fake teeth, fake veneers, fake lips, fake Botox, there's not a movement in your face, you're covered in makeup, probably fake boobs, a BBL, fake, but she's sitting saying that you've got to meet all these demands.
Doesn't care what you do for work because he's the breadwinner.
He doesn't care what you do for work, so that means you're an OnlyFans model and we've just to accept that, I guess, yeah?
He's going to be the one taking care of you. Number 3. Now this one is important as well. All of them are important, but I narrowed them all down, okay? He does not ghost you when a problem arises in your guys' relationship.
So you're not allowed space. You've got to listen to her nagging, and she's got to be able to contact you when she wants, if she wants. You're not allowed space, guys. No. If you're a guy and you want space from a chick, take it. This is how deluded they are.
While you guys are talking, No, he actually tries to problem solve and help you figure it out. Your tire's flat. Oh, well, can I help you change it? Are you okay? Do you need a ride? He's always
See, what she's saying is, what she's describing is what men think women want. But when you're too nice to a woman, it repulses them. So you've just got to keep a middle ground. Don't be too mean. Don't be too nice. Just be pleasant. And if she's doing your head in, take time away from her. It's that simple, you know. Don't ever be overly nice to these modern women. It repulses them, and they'll just put you in the friend zone and see you as a little beta boy. That's the reality. You know, they don't appreciate it. They sit and tell you, and the bottom line is, these modern women will sit and lie about what they want. What they really want is a guy that will treat them like shit and take them on an emotional roller coaster, blow their brains out, and literally put them in the psych ward with how much of an emotional roller coaster that they put them on. That's what they really primally crave. You know, they don't want a nice guy saying, "Oh, here's your flowers, babe. Good morning, babe. How are you, babe?" You know, they'll tell you they want that, but they don't.
make sure that you feel protected and safe.
And I'm convinced that women say they want a nice guy because that's them basically advertising for business as an attracting simps who will give them money and gifts and, you know, bend over backwards and bow down at their feet, because women love that for an ego boost. And they love that because it benefits them financially. But primarily, on a sexual attraction level, that is not what women want. They do not want what she's describing at all.
That brings me to number 4. Of course, you feel safe and protected with him. Like, no matter what happens, you don't have a care in the world when you're with him. You know that if something goes down...
Yeah, women do want that, yeah. But it's like, you don't need to be a simp and be really nice. You just have to be there. You know, if you're a well-built guy and you're about your shit, she'll know it. And it's just a matter of when she's with you, she feels safe. And that's fine. That's okay, you know. Just the same as a guy wants to be with a feminine woman who he feels safe with, who he can trust, who's not going to flip out and go batshit crazy on him and try and ruin his life because she gets in her emotions, you see?
Or something happens to you, he's going to be there for you. He's going to protect you. Number 5, he has intentions and takes initiative when dating you. He plans things out. It's not just, hey, where you at? Can I pull up? No, it's, babe, cancel your plans. We have dinner reservation.
Yeah, no, look, women do not like guys who cater to them and bend over and are really nice. I cannot stress it enough. They like guys who are spontaneous. They like guys who don't really need them. That's what they're attracted to. What she is describing, for the most part, is how women advertise to attract simps. That's it, because simps benefit women in many ways. Ego, it boosts their ego. It gives them attention. You know, women love attention. It gives them attention. And it financially benefits them to attract simps. So that's why they give you this pitch, you know, because they know it'll attract potentially income, attention. Because simps will see that and go, "Oh, I'll do that for you. Yes, my queen." Yeah, they know this. But like I said, primarily, and on a real world basis, women are attracted to men who are not very reactive, are elusive, are not too heavily involved emotionally, and are stoic and are on their path and know what they want and know what they're doing, and they don't let a woman disturb them. Okay? Women will tell you they want the nice guy, but they don't. They only want the nice guy when it benefits them for attention or money.
At Mastro's at 6 p.m. And you better be on time, okay? Bye.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
A man with masculine energy will do many of the things this woman talks about, but he's not the kind of man who'll kiss the ground she walks on. And for a lot of women like her, the definition of the perfect man sounds more like the definition of a second father. Everything revolves around what he does for her. He's supposed to pay for everything, be generous, have a stable career, protect her, solve her problems. Now you tell me, where's the part about what she does for him? Where are the 5 key points to know?
That's it. And she's like, and in return, I'll be feminine, loyal, compliant. I won't bring chaos to his life. You know, if he does all of this, I will stick by his side forever. No, because they're advertising for simps to fall into their trap.
Know if she's a loyal partner, someone who supports and brings value. Exactly. They don't exist because in this model, the man gives and the woman receives. Period. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go...
Yeah, so I thought that was just an interesting video to show you the delusions of modern women and the reality of how they just spew nonsense. And the advice that they give each other is just taking this dating scene onto a whole new level of messed up, because it's women giving all this bad advice to other women, and it just gets worse and worse and worse until women actually understand that a true masculine man who is in the top 20% will not put up with a woman who is demanding, will not put up with a woman with attitude, will not put up with a woman who has slept around, will not put up with a woman who thinks she can run the show, etc. Then women are just going to keep hitting the wall, and it's going to be an epidemic. And men don't need women the way women need men. And let's be real, women do not peak as they get older. Men do. Men do. That's the reality. Especially good looking, high quality men who look after themselves and live well, they always peak in their later years. That's just reality. So these women sleep around when they're young, get an inflated ego, think that the world is their oyster and they can do whatever they want and demand whatever they want. And then as time goes on, they get less good looking, more fake, more, liposuction, BBLs, fake boobs, Botox, lips, whatever. And then they get older, they look used, they're not attractive. And then what happens is you've got this woman who's got this built up inflated ego, and she's 40, hit the wall, no man really wants her, and you've got younger women, 18, 19, 20, 10 times better looking and 10 times better attitude. So that's why I would stress that if you want to get with a woman, she needs to be peaceful, she needs to be compliant, and realistically your best bet, it's not a guarantee, but your best bet is to go for a younger woman than go for a woman who's sitting with all this experience because she's slept with so many guys and she's got like an A to Z list of requirements for you to meet her standards. That is just a no. When you meet a chick, if she's attracted to you, that's all you need. That's it. You don't need to be fitting into her criteria and meeting her standards of this list, that. You've got to meet this. No, if a chick is attracted to you, that's all you need. If she's not attracted to you, she's looking for a simp, and she'll give you all of these lists. You must do this. You must buy me that. You've got to give me money for my nails. Get my hair. No, just they women are a write-off. They're damaged goods, and you just send them back. And that's the beauty of it. Once men realise that these women are just trying to play you, and they're damaged and chaotic and just realistically for the streets. If you want to have fun with them, that's as far as I would go. But even at that, I wouldn't even go with most of them because they're not even worth your time. That's the reality. If you're going to be going with a woman, you want to be choosing quality, not quantity. When I was younger, it was quantity. That was all I cared about. But now that I can see how much women are, how fake they are, they pretend they're nice, but realistically, once you get to know and understand and read them, a lot of them are self-absorbed demons who will ruin your life. So you have to go for quality over quantity, and that's it. So until the next time, peace.